Well, hello and welcome, folks. It's that time again, Thursday evening, where we've got Porsche Cup Challenge. This is Silverstone Legacy. Welcome, and I hope you all enjoy. We've now got 3 minutes left in qualifying, it looks like. I've got my baby in my arms once again. Hopefully it doesn't cry this week, this time. But yeah, here we go. So this is Silverstone Legacy. So definitely a very interesting track, very old track. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a blimp view. And there's definitely some traces of that new Silverstone that we all love and enjoy. But there's quite a few parts of this track that it's like, where am I? I absolutely have no clue. And this is actually one of them right here. I don't remember this in any way in the new track. So it's going to be super interesting to see how this track races. I think there's a lot of passing opportunities, to be honest. This part right here is obviously the was it Luffield and Wood. It says Woodcote, and then into Cops. So we all should know this portion of track right here, and this is going to be our start finish line right there. There's Michael Carrillo going across that start finish line. Jeff Seville, wow, going right onto pole position, his first time round. Let's go full name so you can see first and last name of these drivers. A 149.9. What is that weather out there? 23 Celsius ambient temperature, 24 Celsius track temperature. So now you get to see exactly what are these drivers dealing with. So it's not that hot, not that cold, and so now you can sort of compare. If you're out there, you've been driving this track on your own, you can sort of gauge where would you end up in this qualifying order. Let's pull away that weather. Looks like we've got a few guys still out there trying to qualify. Gary Watson, is he almost done? I think he's almost done. That would be coming through Stowe. And this is coming into Club, as it's called. I think this is Club. I honestly don't know. You know what? I'm actually completely lost on this track as well. So this is going to be really, really a fun time. Absolutely a fun time. Calling the shots on this broadcast. So lost. So lost. I didn't get a chance to drive this track very much. But the little short time that I did get to drive this track, I do know that there's a lot of great passing opportunities. It's multiple different lines that you can take. You can get a good draft into a lot of the corners. And you know what? Honestly, the off tracks are very, how would you say, very generous. So that's going to make for a very, very interesting race. Let's pull away that timing tower so we can take a look at our qualifying results. Let's pull that up right there. We got Jeff Seville. He is on pole position. Congratulations. First race in and on pole position. So let's see how that one turns out for Jeff. Are the nerves going to get the best of him, or is he going to actually pull away? Really curious to see how that goes. Dan McFarlane, he's the winner of our feature race last week at Montreal. He's in second. Adam Schmidt, who's our current season leader in points, he is in third. Ariel Julian, I think, is in second. I think it is. He's way, way down there. So then we got Ed Eisenring, Bill Haynes, Shannon Mothral, Michael Carrillo, Carl Ribbon, Gary Watson. Nice qualifying from Gary Watson. He's ahead of many drivers. Dan Marrera, Ariel Julian, way, way at the back. Jose Maria, Jeffrey Seabach, Tyler Marigula, and Jean Rivera. Looks like no time. So let's hide that for a quick second. And take a look at all those beautiful Porsche. What? Look at this camera angle. Come on, guys. Come on, iRacing. Are you kidding me? I got all the. I don't get to see who's in the very front, but you know what? Who cares about who's in the front? It's all about who's in the back. As the lights are up in the middle of the screen, the lights are off, and away we go. You can see some smoke coming off some of those cars. Looks like a pretty good start for many as we head into turn one, which is now Cops. This is Jeff Seville in the lead of the race. There's Dan McFarlane in the second position. Looks like a few movers and shakers going too wide through Cops. They always say, don't do it, don't go too wide. And you know what? Here we go. This is Maggots and Beckett's. This is the too wide festival right here. And it's absolutely possible to go too wide through this whole section, as you can see right here. You just have to give a little bit of respect for each other. Dan Marrera, now too wide. Who is he battling with? Dan Marrera is battling it out there with Jean Rivera. Jean Rivera is going to be on that inside heading into Stowe. Is Jean Rivera on the inside? He's going to be able to stick it and hold on to that position. It looks like Tyler Marigula locking up, not able to keep it together, under braking into Stowe. Dan Marrera is now behind Jean Rivera. There we go. Gary Watson losing it under braking, not able to hold on to it. And there's Gary Watson losing some of those spots, bleeding very valuable positions that he gained through his qualifying from a very good qualifying. So you can see at the very front, not a lot of movement so far. Oh, and ooh, Jose Maria. Oh, a little bit of a traffic jam. How did that one happen? Gary Watson crashed. So let's see if this was the beginning of it. So this is Gary Watson's crash. Okay, so let's skip on to the next part. Here's Jean Rivera's crash. So Jean Rivera. Oh, a little bit going wild. And there it is. There it is. And that was the trigger point to all that happened. And now we have quite a battle in the back, to be honest. There is Jean Rivera, Jose Maria, way back, further than he expected. Gary Watson, Tyler Merga, and they are battling it out for the very back few positions, heading up right to where Ariel Julian is. This is Ariel Julian, Bill Haynes. And it looks like Bill Haynes is trying to make a pass on Ariel Julian, not able to make it happen. Bill Haynes down 4 spots total, not exactly where he wanted to be. So he is looking to make some of those spots up. He is not wanting to stay all the way into P9. Is he going to go up the inside into Stowe? And there he goes, under braking. He's making that move. Ariel Julian is conceding that position. Nice and conveniently, obviously, for Ariel Julian. And there we go. So Ariel Julian choosing to give it up a little bit easy. And try and fight him back later, because as you can see, 2 tenths, 3 tenths behind, Bill Haynes is not going to hold on to that position long. If I know anything about Ariel Julian right there, he is going to fight back as hard as he can, just as he usually does, honestly. A little bit further back there, you can see Dan Marrera 1 second back, so he's going to be trying to get into that mix if he can. Further ahead, you got, hey, this is a new livery from Carl Ribbing. I haven't seen this one before. I'm going to have to bet that he went on Trading Paints for this one and just said, hey, I like that, and said, yes, I'll use it. Because I don't think he makes these. There's Michael Carrillo. He is... Oh, what happened? Oh, Jeff Seville is in first. Okay. There's Michael Carrillo. He is following none other than Shannon Mothral. He is our lead cheerleader of Porsche Cup Challenge, of course. And what happened to Dan McFarland? Dan, where are you going? Dan! Okay, let's take a look. So Dan is now down 2 spots. How did that one happen? Real quick flashback. How did Dan go off? Oh, he hit the grass right there, just coming out of cops. And, oh, buddy, that is some good surfing action right there. Holding himself together to stay in 4th. What a move. What a move. That was definitely some serious surfing on that grass. To not spin out, that is some great driving. Great reaction from Dan. And you know what that does, though, is that puts Jeff Seville way up into the lead here. Adam Schmidt in second. Adam Schmidt is where he is comfortable in. So let's see. We have 10 minutes left in this race. Ed Eisenring is 5 tenths behind Adam Schmidt, as you can see right there on the timing tower. 6 tenths. They'll very quickly change. It'll expand and contract as they go through that braking zone and out of that corner. And it looks like Adam Schmidt's getting the better exits. That's why you can see now it's 7 tenths difference, 8 tenths as we go out further away from those corners. And so you get to follow along with exactly how this race goes on for these drivers. I leave the interval up so any of you who are watching before, after, you can actually follow along with how that gap changes as the race goes on. So 1.5 seconds for Adam Schmidt right now to Jeff Seville. Jeff Seville on lap 4 just as we start lap 4. So let's see how that one goes. We're going to take a look at a few other drivers right now. This is Dan. He's got Shannon chasing him. Michael Carrillo right hot on his tail. Carl Ribbing a little bit further back with Bill Haynes. Ariel Julian has lost that draft to Bill Haynes. That is a little bit surprising to me. So he is now battling it out, it looks like, with Dan Marrera, car 404 from Costa Rica. One of our favorite Costa Rican drivers, Dan Marrera here. Oh, a little bit further back, we've got Jeffrey Seabach. That is a cute little puppy on that car, I gotta say. Here is Jose Maria with Jean Rivera battling it out for P12. much further back. Oh, actually, you know what? Not even that further back. Gary Watson, and then this is Tyler Marigula coming out through Maggots Beckett's Chapel. And this is heading towards Stowe. So I know that Tyler in our Montreal race, he had a goal to not make any major spins, mistakes, and so on. So he was way behind the field. But you know what? He didn't have any spins or major hiccups, and I think that was actually a very, very big win for the likes of Tyler Marigula. So congrats on that clean race last week. So there's Shannon Mothraw's lost a position. How did that one happen? Let's take a wait. Oh, not quite yet, because we got Bill Haynes. Oh, and there goes Carl Ribbing going sideways out of that corner, and that is going to drop him out of that reverse grid top 8. So Carl Ribbing is losing his prime real estate in that top 8 position, and Bill Haynes taking that away from him. Oh, and almost losing it himself. But Ariel Julian from P9 up into P8 is now in that absolute prime location, prime positioning in our leadership race here. So how did Michael Carrillo make that pass on Shannon Mothra? Let's take a quick look. So I'm gonna have to say it looks like Shannon made a major mistake here. So Michael Carrillo just having a nice consistent, little bit of contact. Luckily, one of the advantages driving the full-sized GT cars and not an open wheel formula car, a little bit of contact like that is not going to absolutely end and destroy your race. So huge advantage. One of the reasons I do love these cars. Another reason I love these cars is no traction control, no ABS, and it's just pure driver. That rear engine of this car is it's definitely something to manage. The amount of understeer you get is a huge challenge, absolutely huge challenge. And understanding how to rotate it into the corner at that apex, it's a mystery for many. Once you figure it out, it's absolutely a dream come true. And here we go, Ed Eisenring with Dan McFarlane trying to gain some of those positions lost back. So he wants into that top 3, into that podium. You can see him taking the wide lines, Ed having to defend. So it's any time now, unless Dan just cannot make it happen. So really curious to see how this battle plays out as they head through that start-finish line with 5 minutes to go. Looks like Adam Schmidt's got the fastest lap of the race. He is 1.4 behind Jeff Seville. So they're pacing almost the same at the very front of the field. It's really just becoming a game of who makes the mistake first. Who's got the best poker face? Right here, this is Dan. He is setting himself up through Maggots Beckett's Chapel onto that straight towards Stowe. If he can get a nice exit, and he's got that right there as he heads down the straight towards Stowe. He is going to be forced to take that outside. If he dares, he's going to go for it under braking, and here we go. This is Ed Heisingerring going around the inside. Dan McFarlane having to take the long way around. That longer distance travel is not going to be of any benefit. Is he going to make that dive under braking? Here he goes. No defense from Ed Eisenring. Not able to make it happen. So that's going to leave Dan still in P4. Wow. This has become quite the battle. And one of the things I absolutely love about this car, you know, it sounds silly, but because it is a full-size car compared to a formula car, it's a lot heavier, and so it's going to be slower to react, which means you can't make those crazy stupid dives to the inside in the most wacky way. They become a little bit obvious. Oh, a little bit of a lockup from Dan, and that is not going to help his tires, and that is going to relieve some pressure from Ed. And so that is one of the advantages, honestly, of racing this car, is that you don't have to deal with some crazy move up the inside of your back rear corner that comes out of absolutely nowhere. You can really see when someone's going to be making a move and when they're not going to be making a move, and you have a lot more time to react to that. That's a huge benefit in in the racecraft kind of world and in the racecraft kind of realm. And there goes Dan wide again on that same corner. So that's not going to do him too well, I don't think. But there he goes. And there you go. There is Jose Maria up the inside. Not quite. Into Cops. Oh, a little bit wide for both of those drivers. Man, that's a cute little puppy. That is so funny. So Ariel Julian looks like he is absolutely out of practice this week. He is being caught up by Dan Marrere. Dan Marrere is hanging on to that rear bumper of Ariel Julian. Ariel Julian, one of our pro drivers, of course. Looking like an amateur tonight. Sorry, buddy. But I don't know where your pace went, but it's just not there tonight. Maybe you got to turn on that base shaker that you got, because normally you're up near that front top 5. Sorry about that, calling you sorry not sorry. Anyways, there's Carl Robin. He is in P10, so after that spin, he's just on a recovery drive with 2 minutes left. Some of these backpack drivers, honestly, are gonna just be looking to use this as practice time. Play out how this track feels, see if they can find ways to make it work for them instead of against them. Because there's not going to be a lot of positions gained at this point with 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes left. Now, fortunately for them, they do have that 30-minute feature race, so they're going to have a second opportunity, a second chance of redemption, really. So, oh, Jean Rivera's crashed. Let's see. So here Jean Rivera has crashed. He's lost a few positions. Oh, just a little bit too hot on the corner entry. And that is exactly how Gary Watson got past. Here is Bill Haynes. He made a pass on Shannon Mothral. Okay, well that would explain it. Here is Ariel Julian make a pass on Dan Marrere, so he is actually able to make that one happen. Where is my notification on that one? Here is Dan Marrere. He's got the inside in the stow. So that is Ariel Julian is now back into 9th position. This is the place to be, folks, right here for the battle for P8. Because you know what? Whoever is in 8th position with our reverse grid top 8, whoever is in 8th position starts on the very front row in the first position in our 30-minute feature race. I don't even have to tell you how big of an advantage that is. You should really already know. That is a huge advantage to start at the very front of the field, even if you're not the fastest person in the world. Starting on the very front is going to be a huge helping hand against any of the amateur drivers or any of the other drivers in total. So Dan Marrere is fighting tooth and nail to hold on to 8th spot, as you can see right here. So yeah, I don't see that notification of how that battle even started. How did Ariel Julian get ahead? I don't think I have that here, but nonetheless, Dan Marrere is absolutely ahead. And so we're going to take a look at, this is Jeff Seville. So looks like he's lost some pace to Adam Schmidt. Adam Schmidt is absolutely blazing fast tonight. So Adam Schmidt's got pace on Jeff Seville. When we do this reverse grid top 8, really curious to see how that one plays out. Here's Michael Curl. He is caught up to Dan McFarlane. Dan McFarlane normally drives the TCR cars, the front wheel drive, so quite an opposite to this vehicle, I gotta say. Having driven the TCRs quite a bit on iRacing here. And with no traction control and a very hard to rotate car compared to the TCR. The TCR is a high rotation vehicle on corner entry and a low rotation on exit. This is the opposite, where it's a low rotation on entry and a high rotation on exit. Very different challenge. You're using very much different pedals and techniques to try and get this car around the corner. So Dan being able to be as fast as he can, that's quite an accomplishment of him as a driver all on its own, I gotta say. Here's Dan. So he is starting to break away break away from Ariel Julian. So that is no worry for Dan. He will be starting on that front row if he can hold it together. Here is Jeff Seville. He's being chased by Adam Schmidt. So Adam Schmidt is going to be definitely a menace in this feature race as they head along that last few corners right there, heading onto that start-finish straight. Congratulations at Jeff Seville coming across that start-finish line in P1. What a race for Jeff Seville. There is Ed Eisenring in third position, not second. Third position, there's Dan McFarlane in fourth. Michael Carril in fifth. Bill Haynes in sixth. He's only down one spot. There's Shannon Mothral. He's going to be in that reverse grid. There's Dan Marrere, Ariel Julian, Carl Ribbing after his spin, losing out on that prime real estate. Gary Watson. Here's Tyler Mergula. Is he able to hold it together? Looks like Gene Rivera and Jeffrey Seabach are both in the pits, just waiting, just hanging out, just waiting for that next race, that redemption race. You know, that 30-minute race, it really is the redemption race. Is this Tyler losing fuel? Oh my gosh. Tyler, are you out of fuel right now? Right about there? Oh my gosh, really? Tyler, you really cut that one close, eh, buddy? Oh my god. Wow. Okay. So let's bring up those results here. There you go. Congratulations once again for Jeff Seville winning that sprint race. So that is this is going to make for a really interesting feature, I gotta say. There's Adam Schmidt in second, Ed Eisenring in third, and that rounds out our 3 podium positions there. So Dan McFarlane, who qualified very, very highly, is 8 seconds back from that leader spot, that winner of the race. So really curious to see how the tire and driving tied with tire management of it, how that plays together in that 30-minute feature. There's Michael Creel, Bill Haynes, Shannon Mothral, Dan Marrere. Shannon Mothral and Dan Marrere will, of course, be in the front row, starting in the 30-minute feature. Ariel Julian, Carl Ribbing, Jose Maria, Gary Watson, Tyler Mergula, Jeffrey Seabach, Gene Rivera. So, my 3 key points of this next race, as always, just as it is with Adam Morrow, for those who remember the Adam Morrow days, get a good start. You know, number 2 is honestly just be, I would say be consistent, or be a little conservative. I'd say be a little conservative under braking, because this track doesn't have a lot of very clear braking markers. So just being conservative under braking, I think, is going to be a huge advantage in the long run. And you know, just what would my third point be? I guess just don't spin, you know, the usual don't spin. Those who make mistakes are much further behind than others. Just as you saw Dan and others throughout the field, one tire lock up and you lose a lot of time, not just in pace after those lockups, but in that one mistake, in that one moment, you can lose 1, 2, 3, 5 seconds. And you know what? After the length of a race, that is a huge amount of time to lose. It's you're almost not racing anymore in some ways if you're losing that much time. You really don't want to be making those kind of mistakes. So that really helps when you're conservative under braking and all those types of things. Conservative under braking and get a good start. And you know, hopefully those are my 3 key points that make sense out there. Way to go, T-Mags. I didn't spin. Awesome. Tyler Mergula did not spin. That's awesome. That Jeff guy, he's quick, says Adam Schmidt. Tyler Mergula says, I didn't spin. Happy face. I'm going to have to, you know what? I'm going to have to get the chat up onto the screen one day. But for now, we got the red lights in the middle of the screen. The race is about to start, and off we go. It looks like we got Dan is really getting a lot of wheel spins, so that is not going to help him out. He's going to be way at the very back of this field as we head through comps for the very first time. We're going to have a 2 wide, 3 wide. This is almost a 4 wide situation. Tyler Marigda up many spots. Let's bring up that timing tower so you can see exactly who has gained and who has lost. There's Tyler Marigda and Jean Rivera as we head through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel for the very first time. Oh, and that is Jose Maria hitting the grass. So he is getting passed like he is a moving chicane. Right there in the very back, there's Gary Watson trying to take advantage of the slow-moving car in front of him. Dan McFarlane, definitely not where he is used to being. So Dan McFarlane has a lot of work ahead of him. Looking further up that field, there's Dan Marrere. Oh, a few cars. There's Bill Haynes going round Stowe with absolute excellency through that inside line, and there's my baby starting to cry just in the middle of the feature. That is perfect timing. That is just how it worked last time, I think. There's Jeff Seville. He's going to have the inside around this long corner, but that outside line, I think, is going to have that power coming out. So Adam Schmidt is ahead of Jeff Seville. Heading into this, I don't know, would you call this a chicane? There is Jeff Seville. He has now lost that position, Adam Schmidt, and that is not going to help him out in the long run. Adam Schmidt has Michael Carrillo ahead of him. There's Ariel Julian. There's Jean Rivera. There is Carl Werbing. After his spin, he has gained a few positions. Jean Rivera is up the most total. He is the biggest winner, and there's a spin by Tyler. There we go. Tyler's getting so ahead of himself. He got so excited and he just had to eat some dirt. But no, honestly, he was doing very well for quite a while. And it's a lot of pressure to be driving with these guys all in this pack. Sometimes you can get excited, really excited, and just sort of lose that focus. And that's unfortunately what happens sometimes. So there's Gary Watson. He's got Ed Eisenring behind him. He has Jeffrey Seebach behind him. And much further back there is Tyler Murgida. So our top four do not have any changes there. We've got Dan Marrere, Shannon Mothral, Bill Haynes, Michael Carrillo. So these guys are exactly where they started. Where the real mix-ups start here is Adam Schmidt, Jeff Seville, Ariel Julian, Carol Ribbing, Jean Rivera. As you can see there, Dan McFarlane, he is down a lot of spots. So he has bled his heart out on that track, unfortunately. And so he has a lot of ground to make up. He has the pace as he showed in qualifying. There it is a little further up. That was Jean Rivera going up the inside of Carl Rubing, not able to make that one happen. So, yeah. How did Gary Watson made a pass here. I'm seeing Gary Watson made a pass. So here is the battle of Gary Watson and Ed Eisenring. So there we go. So there's Gary defending for his life for the position that he's in right at the very back there, P13, P12. It looks like Ed able to make that pass still. So how did Ed finally get on by? Is it under braking into the chicane? And it is Gary Watson trying to throw that defensive line, just absolutely not enough, and able to get through anyways. So I'm going to head to the very front of the field because this is where the real action is. You know what? There's lots of action all through the field, at the very front, at the very back, at the very middle. But you know what? We want to win that race. There's Shannon Mothral going right by Dan Marrere. Bill Haynes ready to take action and make some moves as well. Adam Schmidt, Jeff Seville, they are looking to take some spots as well. This is becoming an absolute boiling pot of adventure, I gotta say. Ariel Julian has a 1, 2, 3, 4 cars behind him. There's Dan, he wants to make up some spots. There's Michael Carrillo, he's got Adam Schmidt going around the outside. Oh, a little bit wild under acceleration, so he wants that position back. He wants it back bad. Oh, and maybe trying a little too hard, unfortunately. So he's going to have to sit there as all of those guys go right on by. So that strong attack from Adam Schmidt going around the outside and forcing forcing Michael Carrillo to use up those tires, use up the tires in all the ways that you really don't want to do. Totally worked out and took one of those cars out for the rest of the race for the really effectively. And here is Adam Schmidt up the inside on Dan Marrero, so he's making up some of those positions, being aggressive in all of those honestly perfect ways. So he is now up in the third. There we go, he's up in the third. And so that is leaving Jeff Seville way behind, lagging behind. He is in P5. So he's going to have to start being real aggressive and, of course, be aggressive while being safe. You don't want to take out any of the other drivers in the moves that you're making. That is not the way we want to do it around here. So he's going to have to find a way to break on through. There's Dan McFarlane up the inside into Copse. You know, they say don't poke a nose in Copse, but in this scenario, do it. Absolutely do it. Send it full send. We're going to head right back up to the leaders here. Shan Motheral, our newest driver in VR, he is in the lead of this race right now. For how long, we're going to have to find out. There's Bill Haynes being chased by Adam Schmidt, heading down towards Stowe. That is a 4-car DRS train here. You've got Bill Haynes, Adam Schmidt, Dan Marrero, Jeff Seville. A little bit further back, you got another 5 cars. Ariel Julian, Carl Ribbing, Dan McFarlane, Jean Rivera, and that is Jose Maria. So Jean Rivera is up 6 positions total. Jose Maria is up 1 from where he started. Ed Eisenring, he is down 5. So he is he's done with bleeding positions. He wants to gain some of those back. Absolutely. There's Gary Watson with Jeffrey Seabach. And these guys are battling out for P12. Jeffrey Seabach is going to be able to get it done. Up the inside, out the outside. Who knows? Here we go into that chicane under braking. Gary Watson, he is still ahead. Gary Watson getting that exit that he needs, and that is putting some distance, it looks like, on Jeffrey Seabach. So you can see the timing delta as it fluctuates. It expands and contracts as the corners come and go. Here's Adam Schmidt. He is going, is that round the outside through those final few corners on Bill Haynes. Wow. Here we go. This is Bill Haynes on the inside through Copse. Is he going to give it up? He does. He actually looks like he lifts on the throttle, just slightly lifts off the throttle, I should say, to allow Adam Schmidt to have the proper high-speed racing line through Copse. And he is going to try and tuck in behind and allow Adam Schmidt to lead the way back into the lead of the to the leader of the race. I'm sure that's exactly what he was thinking there. There's Dan Marrero, Jeff Seville. He's going to have some work cut out for him. Looking a little further back, here is Carl Ribbing. Carl Ribbing is under fire. He has a absolute heater of a race going on with him. Jean Rivera and Dan McFarlane. Is Jean Rivera up the inside into Stowe? Is he going to overdo it under braking? And he is. There he is. And Dan McFarlane making a 2-for-1 pass. That is a 2 birds for 1 stone. Just a nice little patience, and that has put Dan McFarlane up 2 spots and only 2 spots down from where he started. So that is a huge helping hand for him, and a bit of a thank you to Jean Rivera being aggressive and not really paying off and helping out Dan in that situation. Actually, looks like he got a slowdown too, so he's gonna have to let a few guys pass. There is Tyler Merida, Michael Carrillo. He's Michael Carrillo making that pass there on Jeffrey Seabach up the inside into that chicane. Able to fight him back? Nope, not quite. Gary Watson has crashed. I got a notification. Let's see, how did that one happen? Was this self-inflicted? Was it? It looks like it was, unfortunately. A little bit of a late braking, turning in, and oh, okay, so that was not so self-inflicted. Lost control under braking, was slower than expected, and unfortunately tagged from behind by one of the other drivers. So that is going to be a little bit of an unhappy ending so far. Of course, not actual ending because there's still a long race to go, but not a happy ending to that scenario for Gary Watson. But you know, that's racing. Sometimes you gotta race close to each other, and when you race close to each other, it's hard to predict when the car ahead of you makes a little bit of a mistake, how to adjust for that. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, I gotta say. So here is Carl Rubbing. He's still under fire now from Ed Eisenring. Is Ed Eisenring going to make that dive, that move up the inside? So Carl Ribbing's got a little bit of that draft from Dan McFarland, so that is helping him out stay ahead. Ariel Julian is now under fire. There's Dan Marrera. Is he getting passed by Jeff Seville into the chicane up the inside? And there it is, a little bit of a switchback, but not enough to battle for that position. There's Ariel Julian. He is being attacked by Dan McFarland. There's battles happening all throughout this field. Absolutely wonderful. Really, absolutely wonderful. So there is Dan Marrera, Jeff Seville, Ariel Julian, Dan McFarland. This is going to be any moment now. Oh, does he go up the inside? That is a risky move. He's going to have the outside line into the next corner. That is not where you want to be. Does Ariel Julian? Oh, and there is the over-under from Dan. What a beautiful pass. That is risky, and it absolutely worked. Ariel Julian trying to battle it back, but he's going to have the long way around as he heads through left field, and it is just not going to work out. So now Ariel Julian is behind Dan McFarland. That is a beautiful pass. You know what? Let's watch that one back. Here you go, folks. Right here. This is magic at work. Right here. There's Dan. He is making that work, making Ariel Julian work, pushing on him, and a little bit of an over/under, and there you go. Force the car to defend. And sometimes it opens up that hole, and magic. Absolute magic. I'm unsure. How did Michael Carrillo pass Jean Rivera that quickly? I absolutely do not know. I don't think I'll ever find out. It's one of the five wonders of the world. I don't know, 8 wonders of the world, something like that. There's Ed Eisenring going up the inside on Carl Ribbing through Stowe. Carl Ribbing's going to have an advantage under braking. Is he going to take advantage of that? Yes, he is. Trying the over-under from Ed Eisenring, not able to make it stick. So that means Carl Ribbing just slightly ahead, edging him out and staying in P8. So Carl Ribbing is up 2 positions. There's Ed. He is down 3. So still not the greatest. There's Jose Maria. Jose Maria is up 1 spot total. Michael Carrillo is down 7. So Michael Carrillo, one of the faster drivers on our grid, of course. You can see anyone in the pro division will be in green. Anyone in white is the amateur division drivers. So, and we separate our classes. Ooh, there goes Jose Maria. A little bit of a mistake and taking a beach vacation just temporarily. He doesn't want to be there all week, just 1 or 2 days, and that is going to put Michael Carrillo up 1 more position. Applying that pressure, filling those mirrors, absolutely works on just basically all the time. So yeah, wow, look at this, Ed Eisenring making that pass on Carl Ribbing. There is Ariel Julian. Let's see. I think that there's a lot that just happened now. I'm going to take a quick replay. Here we go. This is through Stowe. Wait, so we already saw this. So we already saw this one. So here we go. This is Ed Eisenring. How did he pass Carl Ribbing? So there we go. So Carl Ribbing trying to apply pressure to Ariel Julian, making that mistake and leaving the door wide bloody open. And Ed just saying, thank you very much, I'll take that position. Unfortunately, no worse for the wear because they're all still right next to each other. With 15 minutes to go, this is absolutely anybody's race for P7, as you can see. So we're going to have to follow along and see how does that story play out. And right to the very front of the field, Shiner Bach there. You can see Shannon Mothra, that yellow car. Moonshiner's in the pit, everyone. His pace has not been the greatest because you can see Adam Schmidt right here had a 2.5 second deficit and is now right up behind Shannon Mothra. So Shannon Mothra is under fire from the champ leader of our season, Adam Schmidt, right there. Bill Hayton's a little further back. Where did Ariel Julian go? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How did that one happen? So this is Ariel Julian going a whole bunch wide. Oh, and that is a tough one. And that is one of those moments that, you know, you're racing very close to each other, and when the guy ahead of you makes that little bit of a mistake, it's sometimes hard to react. And that has unfortunately put the likes of Ariel Julian into the pits for repair. He does get one fast repair. He should have just tried to drive it to the pits. But he's chosen to tow, and that's put him to the very, very back of the field. And that's leaving Carl Ribbings and Ed Eisenring. Wow, Ed making that dive up the inside into Stowe and taking that position very clean and clear off Carl Ribbing. Oh, and don't look now, there's Michael Creel, who is way, way back in that field. He has caught up to this group. So this is now becoming a very, very interesting three-car battle for P7. And so that is going to get absolutely spicy. Up to the very leader of the race, we got Shane Mothra, Adam Schmidt, Bill Haynes, and Jeff Seville. Jeff Seville making some moves to get up into this top of the field here. So he's very much in position to win this 30-minute feature race. Dan McFarlane, our feature winner from last week, he is nowhere to be found at the very front of the field, but he is still in a good spot here in P6. He had an absolute horrendous launch at the very start of our race, and that's what's put him so far back. We'll get a quick replay on that a little bit later. Once we see what happens in this battle right here with Dan Marrere, looks like exiting Cops Dan McFarlane is excellent exit. He's going to take that risk through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. No, he's going to wait it out. Definitely the smart way to go. A little bit of patience goes a long, long way in a race. You know, sometimes it's all about a little bit of a bad exit from Dan, and that is going to leave him wide open, I think. So here we go. This is going to be Dan going up the inside. There you go. Exactly. There you go, Dan up the inside into Stowe and into 5th position. There is Michael Creel. He is heading into Stowe. Is he going to be able to make it happen? No, Carl Ribbing is defending him off. Into the next chicane. Braking zone is Michael Creel up the inside. There he goes under braking. Here we go. Carl Ribbing going a little bit wide for both of the cars. I think they both misjudged that braking zone, unfortunately. But Michael Creel is coming out ahead just slightly for, however that one went in. So I want to take a quick look at the very beginning. So the race start, here is Dan McFarlane. So off of the race start, here is Dan. He launches the car, he lays some 11s and just, oof. And Ed Eisenring also joins him in the very back. And both of these guys just lighting up their tires and just not having a good time with it. And you can see how far back. They're in the middle of the field approximately. And after those bad launches, both of these guys at the very back. So if you're wondering how did they get so far back, why are they on a recovery drive, there you go, right there. So here is Shamrock Road. We got 10 minutes 50 seconds left in this race. Adam Schmidt, 2nd position at Shamrock Road in first. Shannon's still leading this race. He started in first on the very front row, and he is making use of that good starting position. Where is Dan Marrere? He is the other driver who started on the front row. He started in first, so he is now down into 6th position. Some of this is expected because, as you can see, Dan has white on his name there, which means he is an amateur driver. Because in our league, we separate pro and amateur strictly based on pace, not iRating, not anything else. So it really does ensure that whoever's a pro, whoever's an amateur, it's because of your pace. It's your fast or your medium slow or medium fast, whatever it is. So Dan being in the amateur division, starting in the very front, you expected him to lose some of those spots. Oh, there goes Jean Rivera. But Dan being in 6th position after all of that is actually a very, very great drive. Very great drive. Before we see what happens here with Adam Schmidt, let's take a look. How does Jean Rivera crash into this braking zone? I think he just saw a squirrel because, yep. I think Jean just lost focus, saw a squirrel, and just went right off the track. Unfortunate ending, but he is now back into the pits, perhaps given up and said, my focus, my brain can't do it anymore. 30 minutes is a very long time to be racing, be on point, and that is part of the Porsche Cup Challenge that we offer here in Porsche Cup Challenge. You know, I started this league way back, I think almost a year and a half ago, to be honest, and I've always said I wanted to make it in a way that, with formats, with penalties, with stewarding, with everything, in a way that it really allows a person to grow as a driver. Whether you're fast, whether you're slow, whether you're already a supreme paced kind of driver, it allows you to have a lot of fun, grow as a driver, and become even better. That is one of the reasons that I've started this league. Funny, I actually started this league because I saw the Porsche Esports Canada qualifiers. I tried it for the very first time. I didn't quite make it that first time round, and I said, I want to get better at this car. So I made a league, and here we are right now, about a year and a half later. Funny story how that one works out, eh? And all of a sudden I'm a broadcaster, not even driving. Imagine that. Oh, and there is Adam Schmidt up the inside on Shannon Mothwell, taking advantage of a missed braking zone from Shannon. And Shannon not having any answers in return. Adam Schmidt throwing that strong defensive line. Bill Hayton's going to be able to take advantage of any of the mistakes made by Shannon. Not quite exiting that final sequence of corners. There is Adam Schmidt. He is in the lead heading into Copse. Shannon Mothrow, is he going to make that dive up the inside? Not quite. He's going to tuck in behind, so Adam Schmidt is going to have an advantage heading through Copse. That is Jeff Seville. He is quite a few seconds back, so he is not really in contention for the win and the lead of this race. Because right here, this is Shannon, this is Bill, this is Adam right there, Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man right there. You can see he is P1 right now, 6/10 ahead. So how long is it going to be until it's 1 second, 1.5? Or are these guys behind him going to be able to hold on to that draft and not let him get away? There's still 6 minutes, 45 seconds, and this is absolutely anybody's race. Of course, as I was saying, 30 minutes is a long time that you have to stay focused, not make one single mistake under braking, under acceleration, under turning, anything. So it is a battle of skill, battle of the brains, and here we go, heading through. Where are we right now? As I was mentioning way back, being Silverstone Legacy, I have no idea where they are sometimes. I think this is Abbey? Farm Straight? Priory? I don't know the turn numbers. I apologize for that part. I don't know the turn numbers. The track map I've got has corner names. So this I do know is Luffield. Okay, so let's take a blimp view because you can obviously tell right from the blimp view. There you go. There is Luffield, Woodcote. And then as we head towards Copse, because this is start-finish line. And there you go, folks. That is the obvious answer. So there's Adam Smith. He is starting to try and pull that gap as the sun starts setting on this racetrack. That is sort of nice, actually. Sun's starting to set. Blah! Tongue-tied. It only took me 45 minutes this time to get the tongue-tie. Oh, what happened to Carl Ribbing? It says Carl Ribbing has crashed. So this is the replay of shame. Getting real excited on that throttle, and there you go. You know what? That's not too bad. There you go. And that is one of the reasons... Ooh, a little bit more excited on the exit of that one. And that's one of the reasons you actually do join a league, is because people care. Not just about themselves, but the people around them, the drivers around them, the cars around them. Carl waited for that car, the other driver, to go by so that he didn't just rejoin that track and take him out. That is not what we're about here. That gives a penalty. We don't like when you do that. And as I was saying, that's definitely one of the benefits of racing in a league. Because you get drivers that care. You want to have nice, fun battles where you get to learn how to be a better driver, how to be a better racer, more importantly, because people care. And, yeah. Porsche Cup Challenge, League Racing, baby. So here's Adam Schmidt. He has not exactly lost the likes of Shannon Mothral. So Bill Haynes is still right there. Bill Haynes is starting to pressure, though, on Shannon Mothral, who is losing the draft very, very slightly. A little bit further back, though, is Bill Haynes and Jeff Seville. Jeff Seville going a little bit sideways on the exit of Kopp, so that is not going to help his rear left tire. I'm unsure if that's how he's been driving all race. Haven't been following him too much in the feature to really know. But if that left rear tire is sliding on that corner, a little bit more. Yeah, so his left rear tire is not going to allow him to make any more passes in this race. I guarantee you that one, actually. I would put money on that, I think. But Bill Haynes, his tires, his car, his mentality looks like it's on point. He's even closer than before to Shannon Mothral, who is losing a little bit of pace to Adam Schmidt up the very lead. So Bill Haynes may be looking to make a pass, get into second position on Adam Schmidt here. Ooh, it looks like Shannon's got a much better exit out of that corner. Really putting the power down. And even Adam Schmidt, something happened to Adam Schmidt because he just lost a lot of time delta. That is real interesting, I gotta say. Here is the chopper view. You can see this is actually quite a difficult corner. The elevation changes on that corner is something else, I gotta say. It's not an easy one to manage. It's a lot of different lines, as you saw, with Dan making those passes there and some other drivers really mixing it up as they try and find the fastest way around those corners. This is here the start-finish straight where they started the race. They're going to finish the race here. They have, let's see, minute 30, minute 50. Best lap of minute 50, so they're going to have one more lap to go. I do not think this is the white flag lap. There is Michael Carrillo. Let's see, do we see a white flag waving? No, we don't see any white flag. Where is Barney Flag Guy? Nowhere to be found. That guy is missing in action, MIA. Bloody hell. Yep, I still don't... There he is. Nope, no white flag. So we're going to have one more lap to go. So that's going to give another lap and a half at this point for Shannon Mothral to either lose that position or stay in that position. Jeff Seville looks like he's actually able to piece it together and forget about that bad tire wear he had going on his rear left, and push. He's now on the rear bumper, eating the heat of the exhaust off of Bill Haynes. This is Igson Club going towards Abbey. I think it's called Abbey. Please correct me if I'm wrong there. Before, after, during the race, I have no idea when, but so yeah, there is Adam Schmidt, Shannon Mothral, Bill Haynes, Jeff Seville. Jeff Seville real close. Look at this. Whew. Is he going to be able to go around the outside? No. Long distance to travel. Not advisable. And so he's actually going to lose a lot of ground off that one. So we're going to see that white flag flying. White flag flying. There it is. There's Barney the Flag Guy. There you go. There you can see that white flag right there. There's Ed Eisinger. Wow. So after that really, really bad start, he's there. There's Michael Creel. He is into 8th position. Only 4 positions total lost. So that is pretty good there for him. Jose Maria is up 2 spots after a few bumps, bruises, and he's now there. Carl Ribbing, after losing control, he is in 10th position. Brings me back to that 3 key points that I made is just don't make that mistake. Be conservative under braking. You can see that Jean Rivera, Julian, and I think Jeffrey Seaboard, some of the moves that we've seen from some of the drivers and just general mistakes, not being conservative under braking has not served them too well in some of those situations. It definitely helps to be conservative under braking because then you're not going to risk it for the biscuit and all of a sudden lose out on a lot of spots. So here's Bill Haynes. He is duking out. He is trying to shimmy for inside for outside position with Jeff Seville. Jeff Seville, he is wanting to break that defense open for those final few corners as we're heading into Priory. We're going to be heading through Brooklands and through Luffield. And is he able to make it happen? Bill Haynes is still ahead. A little bit wild on the accelerator pedal, but able to stay ahead. And there's Adam Schmidt coming across in the lead of this race. Congratulations for Adam Schmidt. There is Shannon Mothero, Bill Haynes, Jeffrey Seville. And what a great drive, guys. There is Dan McFarlane after a horrible start, all the way back into P5. There is Dan Marrero. There is Ed Eisenring, Michael Carrillo. After not such a great start to his race, he is into 8th position. There is Jose Maria. He is going to be in 9th. Carl Ribbing, not able to gain that time back that he lost after spinning. He is going to be in 10th. There is Gary Watson. There is Gary Watson coming across. He is 1 position gained. A little bit bruised up there. That rear end not looking so happy. Tyler Mergula, ooh, getting a little bit wild on that very last lap. He likes that a little bit wild, eh? Just a second. Hey Tyler, that's quite a way to finish. That's quite a way to finish, Tyler. Ooh, right into the walls. You're gonna bust open those headlights doing that. Good job, guys. So that is Adam Schmidt. Let's bring up. Let's bring up the winners of that race. So Adam Schmidt ended up in P2 in the sprint, P1 in the feature. Congratulations. Shannon Mothral, what a drive. Bill Haynes, Jeff Seville, Dan McFarlane, Dan Marrero, Ed Eisenring, Michael Creel, Jose Maria, Carl Ribbing, Gary Watson, Tyler Mergula, Jean Rivera, Aero Julian, way back Aero Julian, unfortunate, and Jeffrey Seabach. So let's jump into some voice channels here and see if we can snag an interview from some of the drivers of that race. So are you guys there?
Hey.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey. So I can hear you, you can hear me. Is everything good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So right here in the interview booth, I've got Tyler Mergula and Dan McFarlane. So Dan, let me start with you. How that race start? Walk me through that one.
Oh, yeah. I got a little confident. I'm thinking, oh man, I've had pretty good luck getting these starts going, and I just slipped the clutch a little too far, spun the tires, and it just so happened Ed next to me also had a little bit of wheel spin, went right into my side. So it's a shame. I felt like I had pretty good pace, and I was making some good passes, but I was just too far back to really be up with the leaders, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is what
Uh,
it is.
yeah. Yeah. It's one of my three key points that I always bring up in the warm up between the sprint and the feature is get a good start. And it's just so funny. Is it prime example of why you really need a good start. 6 seconds back from the leader and the winner of the race, still not that bad. Having to battle through traffic from the very back, so that's actually a really, really great result still. So definitely pat on the back for quite a recovery drive, honestly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Everybody gave me room. I gave them room. I feel like we had some pretty good battles through the field there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Tyler, you had zero spins in that sprint race. So what happened in the future?
Um, well, I'm not used to running with the pack. I'm usually way behind everybody. And then I don't know, I pushed it a little too hard on lap one. I spun at
Oh, we saw.
I did a full 360, kept it on course, and then I kind of kept up for a little bit. But
Yeah,
yeah, then spun
yeah.
again a little later.
I gotta say, it's actually like it's quite interesting the mentality required because to race for 30 minutes and be around other cars and driving, and it's not easy sometimes. Some have more of a struggle with it than others. Um, and it's fair. It's not an easy thing to try and manage. Of how do you hit the braking markers, the apex, the exits, while all these cars around you, everything's happening so fast, right? And if you're used to driving more on your own, it's quite a different experience, I gotta say, as you know. Um,
Yeah, I kind of got brain fog around like the 25-minute mark, and I just completely missed the breaking point, turn 8. So I just went straight through the grass through 9 and 10, took the slowdown, and yeah.
yeah, you know what? I often believe that racing is more mental rather than skill and physical. It's totally a mental challenge of how far can you push yourself on that aspect of it. Keeping that focus, it's a challenge because one tiny mistake in 30 minutes of time, that's a long time to keep your brain focused, can make or break a person's race. You know, if you think about 30, who focuses for anything for 30 minutes?
Yeah,
Pretty,
I guess
pretty hard.
that's what they say about like Max Verstappen. He can do this for hours, and he's just kind of, it's like a Sunday drive to him. It's second nature.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
eventually you get good enough and you don't even have to think about it.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And Dan, actually, back to you is so as mentioning during the broadcast, you come from the TCRs where it's oversteer on corner entry, understeer on the exit. This car being the absolute opposite, where it's understeer on entry, oversteer on exit. What's your take on that transition from TCR to this?
What do they say? Variety is the spice of life, I suppose. It's just it's a totally different experience in this car. I don't know. I always like driving different disciplines. So sometimes it's quite refreshing to have a car that handles totally differently.
Yeah, it's quite fun. It's a totally different challenge too, with no ABS, no traction control. It's definitely an experience, eh?
Yeah, I've been iRacing since 2016,
Oh,
and I've never really put
oh, gee.
significant amount of time in this car. So it's been a lot of fun to like really start to come to grips with like how to get fast, and a lot of guys in the Discord are super helpful. I was reading through a bunch of pointers that Nicholas had, before the race, just trying to figure out how the heck do I get around here. So, man, it's so rewarding, especially even if I end up spinning my tires for 2 seconds on the line, I still get to have a lot of good battles and kind of understand how to set people up for passes and how to race closely. Luckily, no, didn't lock the brakes into a hairpin this week. But yeah, it's been so much fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's you sort of bring up some thoughts that I have about this car. It's that the skill ceiling on this car is so high. It makes it such a great learning car, so fascinating to race, and it makes it such a rewarding car, as you say, to race as well.
Absolutely, 100%. It's when you get it right, it just feels so good.
And then when you get it right, someone blows by you and you're like, what did they do? I want,
Yeah, I honestly, the reference lap I was using for practice was 49.0, which is still quite unfathomable to me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love about this car is there's always going to be someone faster no matter how fast you are. And trying to always reach for the stars, it's just endlessly fun. Because I think we're all here because we have that similar competitive like hunger in all of us to always push, always push. And so yeah, I think that it really ignites that portion of all of us and brings us together, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun getting to know some of the guys around here, and definitely look forward to a lot more races with the Porsche Cup Challenge.
Yeah, we're definitely glad to have you. Happy to have you, and yeah, really happy to hear that you're also enjoying it. With that, I think that I'm going to be ending our broadcast. Is that Adam Schmidt actually in our interview booth here as well?
Hi.
King of Awkward, hello.
How's it going?
How's it? It's going good. How about you?
I am sweaty. That was a very tough 2 races to go there.
May I offer you a cold shower, sir?
I might be taking one later, yes.
So you were P2 in that sprint race and P1 in the feature race. Going into that reverse grid 8 feature race, what was in your head? What was your plan?
My plan was to try and save my tires more than I did during the sprint race. Because if you noticed, my fastest lap in the sprint was a 150.1 or 0.2 or something like that. I never got into the 150s in the feature. I just couldn't do it because I was trying to save my tires. Because I knew it would take me some time to catch up to those guys up front. And then right at the start of the feature, it was kind of a big worry because there was that spin right in front of me, and I got kind of into aerial, I think it was, next to me. And I was worried then because I thought I might have some damage, but looking back at the replay, it doesn't look like I did.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think you're way in the clear P1 for our season championships this season.
Yeah, I did the math this morning. No one can beat me for P1, so now I'm just doing it for fun and experience.
I can't wait to start racing next season.
I cannot wait to get you back out on the track, man.
Yeah, I want to get a piece of you.
My P1 might be in jeopardy by next season. Then
save some for me.
You can join too.
So actually, it's funny. We are gonna be pulling that trigger on the multi-class LMDH and Porsche 992 multi-class races next season. Mm-hmm. So hey, breaking the news on that, and we're gonna be adding another cool little feature: multi-class teams. So look forward to that. So find that teammate. I think Adam, I talked to you a little bit about that in the past. What we're gonna do is $5 buy-in, and for people who want to be a part of a team with it, it's basically put your money where your mouth is, and every person who wishes to be a part of that, they put $5 in with their teammates, so $10 total from a team. and whoever's the team P1 will get 20% of the pot. Team P2, 20% of the pot. Basically, everyone who puts the money in, it all goes towards a pot. If I hope I'm explaining. And on top of that, though, your teammate must be driving the other class car. Two teammates cannot drive the same class. So one will be LMDH and one will be 992 Cup Car. Does that make sense?
Mostly.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
Right?
sounds chaotic.
Exactly.
it.
So you can win money back in iRacing credits if you are willing to bet on yourself. You put in $5 towards the pot, and the only way you can win that back is by you and your teammate doing well in the team championships.
That sounds very, very intriguing.
Right? So we'll be posting more about that in the near future. So I just wanted to drop a little bit of a hint on that. The 992 and the LMDH, of course, has a huge speed differential. So it's going to be rather interesting of how these two cars sort of deal with each other on track. As you know, like it's gonna be like, oh my god, here comes the rocket ship. It's gonna be great and also horrible. It's just gonna be absolutely wonderful, I think, overall. And it's going to be fun for some of the guys who have driven the Porsche Cup for many, many seasons to have something a little different. For anyone who's newer in the Porsche Cup to still continue driving that car. So we're going to be definitely trying to accommodate everyone in this kind of adventure and experiment. Yeah.
I will say, having the LMDH come up behind you in this Porsche is terrifying. We've been doing the practices, and oh my god.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can't even see it until it's too late.
And with that, though, I will be tuning out this broadcast. Next week is gonna be Suzuka. Yep, Suzuka. And I'll see you guys all next week. I can't wait. I'm excited to see that last week. Adam Schmidt, please show up still. Let's see what you got. Maybe I'll race in that last race and broadcast from the driver's seat. We'll see. But with
All right.
that,
Sounds good, man. Have a good night.
I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah, I can say that.
Baby, don't you know that when I'm smoking that loud, got my head in plumes and clouds, you're the one I think of. Baby, don't you know that it's gonna go down when I
Playing music, I got it up.
now, you're the one I think of.
I gotta ask, did you see lap 1 of the sprint race? Where? I think Gene Rivera and Jose Morera crashed when Gene pulled out when I was coming by, and I don't know how I didn't hit him, but I'm proud of it. I don't know how I avoided that, but I can't make it around the track without spinning sometimes. Yes, especially at the end. Well, I was kind of thinking at the end of the race, I was like, oh, I know I'm going to be the only one on screen waiting for me to finish. So I'm just, I was like, I'm going to full send it into the last corner just for fun. Yeah, especially once I already spun, I got back on track and just started jerking the wheel left and right till I hit the wall. Like, yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point, right?